Dear audience, honorable judges, greetings. As a starter, my teammates and I would like to thank all of you for giving us this precious opportunity to speak our minds and share our thoughts on sensitive yet interesting topics, such as the one we have today, since we're talking about our country's economic state and discussing its free trade agreement with the infamous Turkey. Now, let's all be real for a second. When I first knew about this free trade agreement, I thought to myself, okay, on one hand we have Morocco, our beloved third world country, with nothing but countless economic problems. And on the other, there's Turkey, the owner of the world's 19th largest nominal GDP. And between the two countries, there's a free trade agreement with equal mutual benefits, you're telling me? Sure, it sounded good at first, but a little bit too good to be true. And to be honest, I felt it in my gut. I knew something was off. And as Oprah Winfrey says, intuition never lies. In fact, mine didn't, because let's take a quick look at the results we got from this agreement, counting from 2006 to now. First of all, recent reports have indicated that Morocco has been burdened with all sorts of Turkish products since the 2006 trade deal between the two capitals. Meanwhile, Moroccan products are still facing so many obstacles while entering the Turkish market. That's basically because everything we have, they already have it, including our similar tradition and culture. So I hate to break it to you guys, but Turkish consumers aren't really interested by what Morocco has to offer as a trading partner. But even worse than that, our products don't even speak to them on any level. Which leads me to my second point. The similarity between the two cultures have turned the two countries into competitors rather than full partners. In such a case, the benefit is unequally shared, with Turkish companies ahead in time in terms of competitive edge and advantage, reaping better benefits. Well, we cannot say the same about Moroccan companies. And let's not forget about the loss of so many Moroccan jobs between 2013 and 2017, leaving young Moroccan citizens jobless and unemployed. So it must be said, the Turkish-Moroccan free trade agreement is unbalanced and tilts largely in favor of Ankara. In fact, imports from Turkey have increased in an incredible way. Meanwhile, the Moroccan experts have followed the exact opposite path. It's pretty obvious at this point. The question is, how can we keep something that is not beneficial for our country nor its people? But most importantly, how can we allow that a state cuts jobs and causes unemployment in our own country?
Greetings, everyone. The 7th of April 2004. This remarkable day is when Morocco and Turkey sat down and put together the free trade agreement. And here I am, standing in front of you, lovely audience, roughly 16 years later, debating whether this very agreement should be cancelled. Evidently, we cannot approach the matter at hand without offering our dear audience a more in-depth perception of the subject. Now, the topic is built around two major components: Morocco-Turkey and free trade agreement. Morocco and Turkey are obviously the two concerned parties. Free trade agreement, on the other hand, has three words. Free, as in boundaryless and unconfined. Trade, as in commerce and dealing. And agreement, as in harmony and consensus. You put the three words together, you get a harmonious, unconfined commerce that has both parties' consent. Now this, dear audience, by definition, cannot possibly be harmful to any of the parties involved. Ladies and gentlemen, this agreement is not some random decision that just happened. People actually sat down and studied the matter, discussed it, evaluated it, and came to the sole conclusion that it is beneficial to our country. The very people who are behind this deal worked hard and negotiated every single term of it, making sure we get the best deal possible. And let us all not forget the fact that the person who signed this deal is Rizto, the former member of the General Confederation of Companies of Morocco, the vice president of the Moroccan Association of Exports, the former chair of the Moroccan Association of Industries of Leather, and above all else, he actually achieved the Wissam of the throne. And as if all of this was not enough, he managed to earn people's trust as he won the election in the year 2002 and named himself Prime Minister of Morocco, keeping the title up to 2007. Yet here we are facing a government who's trying to throw all this effort straight out the window, who claims he knows better, who's trying to prove the absurd, who is conspiring to convince us to revoke this agreement. Ladies and gentlemen, this agreement is very beneficial to us. This agreement that they're trying to revoke is an opportunity. And if the window of opportunity appears, we should not pull down the shades, especially that our country needs this agreement. The government is determined to prevent Morocco from benefiting from it. The government says that we should not take it, that we should cancel it, and points the finger of blame to it. He blames the agreement for all our problems. He says that this agreement is the source of the source of all harm that touches our economy. And I'm here to prove the opposite. Our team is here to prove the opposite. Dear audience, this agreement, dear audience. The government is determined to prevent Morocco from benefiting from this agreement. And here we are, here standing in front of them, watching them as they try to do so. But to be honest, I'm not worried. I know for a fact that the jury is fair. And I'm convinced that the audience is reasonable. So when my team and I, the opposition, present you the voice of reason, I am confident the right decision will be made. And before I go back to my chair, let me promise you that during this debate, the opposition shall present you compelling argument, irrefutable data, and conclusive proof that this agreement should not be cancelled. Thank you.
As an answer to what you just said, you said they did studies before doing the free trade agreement, but since they decided to review it, then there is a problem in this agreement. Ladies and gentlemen, dear audience, judges, member of the opposition, good evening. Lovely to see you all here today. We're having an amazing and entertaining day, are we not, with some very interesting things being said. Free trade in general is a trade policy that does not restrict import and export. It can also allow companies from rich countries to directly invest in poor countries. They say the free trade ideologues promote a pure ideology. They say that the countries who practice free trades are the ones who successfully developed. Well, it's wrong. Whether it's Germany or USA in the 19th century, Korea or Japan in the 20th century, and China in the 21st century, currency management, the export subsidies, the informal and formal import barriers, and the protection of the domestic market were crucial for the industrial development. Studies reveal that first, trades greatly increase inequality between countries, and we can see that there are countries who prosper from it, like Turkey, and those who are driven to greater poverty because of it, like Morocco. The FTA between the Republic of Turkey and the Moroccan Kingdom was signed in 7th April 2004 and put in force in 1st January 2006. The government in Morocco has officially come out to complain publicly of the terrible damage that Turkey has caused to its economy. In a proceeding of its kind, Hafiz Al-Alami, a Moroccan minister, announced a Moroccan financial loss amounted to $2 billion annually. The main reason for the review is to draw a clear picture to see where Morocco stands in terms of financial advantage. And they said that any agreement that does not benefit our country and our economy will be cancelled. A source from the industry ministry said, I quote, that the Morocco-Turkey deal has been more beneficial for the Turkish side, while various Turkish products have made their way into Moroccan markets. The reverse has not been true. The Moroccan minister committed to protecting the Moroccan economy and the need to protect jobs opportunities in Morocco. As a result, he added, I quote, Morocco's trade balance with Turkey has been negatively impacted by the overflow of Turkish products in Moroccan markets. Vis-à-vis Turkey, Morocco's deficit has quadrupled since the 2006 agreement, from 4.4 billion dirham in 2006 to 18 billion dirham in 2018. We conclude then that Turkey is the only beneficial from this free trade agreement with Morocco. This trade didn't fix things in Morocco, it just made them worse. Saying yes to this agreement, to this free trade agreement, is saying yes to Morocco's economical collapse, crash, and destruction. What our dear opponents are trying to say is that Morocco losing $2 billion is okay. The growth of the Moroccan deficit, the lack of job opportunities, and the deterioration of the Moroccan industry is also okay. Our country's economy is actually living what we call an economical depression. Because Morocco haven't known any big improvement nor any good since this free trade agreement had been done. The free trade agreement between Turkey and Morocco do more harm than good, because they favor the well-being of business over workers. We need, and as Moroccan, to protect domestic industry, firm and jobs from unfair Turkish competition. In short, ladies and gentlemen, yes, Morocco free trade agreement should be cancelled. Thank you.
Dear government, from the beginning you're saying that we should cancel this agreement because it's not balanced and it's affecting our economy in a negative way. You know, I'm not really an economist nor a politician, but I think that I can prove you that you're on the wrong path just by using one simple and basic mathematical concept, which is the proof by contradiction. Now, let me explain. I am basically going to assume that the government here is right about the fact that we should cancel our agreement because it's not balanced. And I am going to build a whole reasoning upon this assumption till I find a result. And if the result is absurd, then what I assumed in the beginning is wrong. Now, let's start. I am going, as I said, to assume that our dear government is right about the fact that we should cancel this agreement because and since it is not balanced. So the cause of this cancellation is the trade being not balanced. This implies that Morocco should cancel every other single agreement that is not serving his economy in a good way and that is hurting his economy. So by saying this, we should cancel our free trade agreement with the USA because it's not balanced. Their exports to our country are $3 billion, where our exports to their country are only half this amount, nearly $1.6 billion. And Morocco have a trade deficit with the USA worth $2.5 million, which is huge, and we are hurt by this trade. We also should cancel our free trade agreement with China because, as you all know, the Chinese products are flooding our markets. And since they are in low prices, the Moroccan consumer prefers to buy Chinese products over local products. So local businesses no longer sell their goods. So they're hurt by this. Thus, our economy is hurt by this. So if we follow your logic, dear government, we will end up canceling all of these agreements because they are all hurting our economy, right? So, after canceling all of these agreements, what will happen then? Well, we will end up shutting doors on international and diplomatic relations with other countries while we need them. We need international and diplomatic relations, like just for example in the conflict with the Sahara. We need other countries to be with us and to defend us. There will be also no competition between Morocco and other countries because Morocco won't, and this will affect our economy in a negative way and will prevent it from thriving and flourishing because we will no longer import other products and we can no longer compare ourselves to other countries, so we won't know if we should improve or not. And now let's take the Turkish trade agreement as an example. If we cancel our free trade agreement with Turkey, then we will end up saying goodbye to all Turkish companies based in Morocco. And what will happen? Well, the rate of the unemployment rate will rise drastically because these companies are actually employing Moroccans. And since Morocco now is in a situation and doesn't have enough resources to provide these people with another alternative to save them from joblessness, this is why we shouldn't cancel our agreement. Because I think that now we've realized that if we follow your logic, dear government, we will end up hurting our economy even more. And this is not what we want, and this is contradictory to our goal. Thus, why I assumed in the beginning was wrong. And this is why we shouldn't cancel our free trade agreement with Turkey. Thank you.
You guys did just admit that the Morocco-Turkey free trade agreement actually hurt us. And if we cancel it, that doesn't obviously mean that we should cancel every single other free trade agreement. But this one is useless. Well, guess what actually happens when you let a stronger opponent into a third world country's market? I'll give you 2 seconds to think about it because honestly, it doesn't need that much reflection. There you go. Any trade agreement will cause less successful companies to go out of business, since obviously they can't compete with a stronger, more powerful, and very well positioned in international trade industry. Furthermore, as they go out of business, workers lose their jobs. Knowing that in each factory works at least 100 persons, each one with a family he needs to take care of, with kids he needs to feed.
BOI.
Yes, taken.
You said that we shouldn't cancel other agreements such as USA and the Chinese agreement, but the cause of this cancellation is the trade not being balanced, so I don't see why other unbalanced agreements should be an exception for this.
I'm gonna respond to, just listen to my speech, you're gonna understand. So, as I said, here's the concrete example of what's happening in our dear country. Ladies and gentlemen, more than 32,000 jobs were lost in Morocco's textile and leather industries between 2013 and 2014. Even Mohamed Al-Hlou said, we have, which he is the president of the Moroccan Association of Clothing Textile Industry in Morocco. He said, I quote, "We have come to an extremely dangerous point and we need urgent and efficient measures for the future." Adding that 80% of clothing textile companies will collapse because they can't hold up anymore. Shouldn't the government first prioritize its citizens' needs instead of the quality of their pants? I mean, yes, Turkish products are of a good quality, and yes, the price is reasonable. But that is the problem. No wonder Morocco keeps crumbling under all kinds of Turkish products that have massively entered into our markets. Meanwhile, Ankara still continues to submit Turkey-bound Moroccan products to rigid customs, which is clearly fair and balanced, isn't it? By the way, I don't know if you have heard of the new fund created by Morocco under the 2020 appropriation bill that is supposed to actually finance companies. Since Turkey provides us with good quality products such as textile industry, and that's not the case for USA or for other free trade agreements that are even more important, we could actually take it as an opportunity to invest into our Moroccan industry, to develop it. And maybe one day we would be strong enough to compete with those and to actually accept those free trade agreements that would maybe one day be beneficial for us. As a conclusion, a wise man once said, "There are none so blind as those who choose not to see." And as our proof and statistics clearly shows, I think the truth is very clear. Thank you.
Miss, the US is offering Morocco military cooperation, while Turkey is offering textile. You see, it's a quid pro quo situation. One is offering a thing and the other is offering it back. That's how free trade agreements work in the first place. So if you didn't know the USA, how USA gives, what USA gives us, then you know now. Honorable government, esteemed guests, it is I who addresses today the necessity of keeping a free trade agreement, who is willing to defend what's best for our country and its development. First, let us recall how far we achieved hand in hand with the vibrant city of Ankara, an unprecedented deal which not only included the flow of goods, labor, capital, but also knowledge and cultural values. Sharing the blood of Tariq ibn Ziyad, who made us deeply rooted in Turkish history and propelled us into being two ineluctable allies. Now, our trade volume has been increasing exponentially over the years, and so much that Turkey is importing a lot more than we export into them. Some of the terms it is undeniable that some of the terms may seem a little bit harsh in our country, but why exactly are we slacking behind them? First of all, Moulay Hafid Al-Alami, Minister for Trade and Industry, claimed that the equation that needs to be implemented is exporting more and importing less. However, Morocco's export supply is facing serious problems. A 2018 HCP study indicated that 60% of these tradable goods lacked real added value, which makes it a lot less attractive. Now, to improve the exportable supply, it is necessary to give the means to the exporters. And Morocco is performing in a few sectors that it can develop even more, such as fertilizers, textile, and more recently the automobile. However, Moroccan exporters do not have the means to improve the exportable supply. Unlike the Turks, who receive subsidies from their government. And therefore, Moroccan exporters are more and more restrained, which explains why we are on an 80% deficit with Turkey. Besides, I believe that deal is not balanced, not because Turkey has failed to deliver property in this deal, but due to Morocco's internal structure being economically weak. Because with widespread corruption and the lack of entrepreneurial projects, Morocco fails to collect taxes accordingly, which abridges primaries that include but are not limited to state insurance and social security and many other primaries. Thus, Morocco can never be an industrialized country. And with the sign made in Turkey being widespread in our country, it seems that our industrial market is solely based on the FTA with Turkey. And thus, cancelling will be a carefree decision. Now that we have shown that Morocco is responsible for its own deficiency and that we will be highly reliant on FTAs anyways, it is worthwhile to readdress some basics. Turkey is not and will never be our enemy, and Morocco invariably needs economic reshuffle anyways, which has no correlation whatsoever with the FTA with Turkey. All in all, I see it as a desperate political maneuver executed by an impetuous government to sire Turkey's immense cooperation and end the career of millions. Thank you.
You said that Turkey will never be our enemy. You said that, but you know, canceling an agreement doesn't mean that it will be our enemy. And on the other hand, I think we have gone way too far in the direction of the U.S. free trade. I know it's a good debate, so we can debate it later if you want, but not now. This subject is the Moroccan free trade one. So, and for you, you said that. Free trade and free trade agreement are harmonious, just like the Moroccan-Turkey free trade agreement. That's it, right? So, according to our opposition, losing $32 billion is harmonious. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you know I have long waited for this day to come. And dear audience, and here we are again debating in English about our topic here. Dear opposition, did you know that we were given a half-won debate due to the Moroccan free trade agreement not being balanced? So we have already secured 50% of the bets. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, can we please applaud for our opposition? I don't actually know how can you debate the balance of this agreement while every single news headlines states that the Moroccan-Turkey free trade agreement is not balanced. Well, but at least they tried, and you have to give it to them. And just like Conor McGregor says, good love's a try. You know that Morocco has lost $2 billion ever since 2004, and it has amounted to $3 billion since the year 2018. One question, How is that balanced? How is that balanced? It's just like putting Niba on a fame measurer, and while on the other hand, let's put Brad Pitt. Should I even declare the winner of this? Well, it's obviously Niba. Funny, wasn't it? On top of a headline from Morocco World News, said that Morocco and Turkey have 15 days to fix this agreement. That means rebalance it. So another question, dear audience. Just
BOI.
one. Thank you. Take it.
First, we never said that Turkey will be our enemy if we cancel the agreement. We said that Turkey was never our enemy. That's first. The second thing, when we mentioned the US and China, I mentioned it because it's the same thing. Our free trade agreement with them are unbalanced. So it's the same thing. Why should they be an exception since they are hurting our economy and affecting it in a negative way?
I know you said that Turkey would never be our enemy, and I just responded to that. I don't have to repeat it. And then you said that the US, I think we went too far for the US. We can debate it later, I said it. So on top of that, one question is it, why would you fix or rebalance something? Because it's obviously not balanced, that's why. Now some of y'all would still say, government whip. They have put up 15 days to fix it. There's still some hope. They can fix it. But my response is pretty simple. Something that hasn't been fixed for 16 years. Each year, it has lost minus 2 billion. That's 32 billion in total lost. So something that hasn't been fixed for 16 years, would it be fixed for 15 days? Even the number of the years is bigger than the number of the days. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm wearing the color money, so let's talk business. We are here to do so, aren't we? So when we want to sign a deal or an agreement, we look at what I'm given and what I'm receiving. So that's the condition. If it's fair enough, we sign it, shake hands, and might as well celebrate later. For this deal, let's see what Turkey has given us. It has given us in the supermarket departure, BIM, and thank you, that's it.
Enough continuously rambling and complaining about our issues. Enough talking about our deficiencies and cowering behind our weaknesses, unable to face the competitiveness and secure ourselves a place at the top of the world charts. Now, let's all take a moment to imagine if we were finally able to surpass our problems, realize potential cooperation between Morocco and Turkey, and bring the Moroccan cooperation and Turkey, and bring Moroccan-Turkish relations to the level of strategic partnership. Dear members of the jury, dear audience, dearest opponents, this is what Morocco has been ardently trying to achieve. From bringing into action the national strategy, which aims to support small companies by reducing their tax rates to 50% and giving them financial incentives, to guaranteeing their economic and social inclusion into the society, Morocco has made several efforts to try and vitalize its economy and benefit the most from the in-question FTA. And let's not forget about the huge efforts Morocco has made to develop its textile sectors during the past 6 years. Morocco has launched the Industrial Acceleration Plan, which specifically aims to create over 16,763 jobs by the end of 2020 and increase textile exports.
POI.
Yes.
Well, actually, you said that Morocco has invested into upgrading the industry of our country. But this actually goes against the free trade agreements since it's creating an unfair competition between our companies, which are not that much strong compared to Turkish companies. Thank you.
Okay, if you listened very well to what I said that Morocco has already admitted that the competition is unbalanced, but we are trying to benefit from that. And what he does, what Morocco did, is support small companies and encourage them to actually make more to be able to compete. We already know that this competition is unbalanced. We are making efforts. Moving on. All of these projects and investments will increase Morocco's growth rate by 3.7% by the end of 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no denying that the free trade agreement is very advantageous to our country. As every contract naturally is, it aims to benefit two countries and create harmonious relationships between both of them. This agreement does not only open the doors for financial investments from both. This agreement does not only open the doors for foreign and national investments in Morocco, but it also strengthens the relationships between the said countries. By cancelling it, as our dear opponents very persistently say we should, we will simply stay as bystanders, watching as the other countries head to the development and economical stability. And I'm very sure that every single one of you, despite their minimum knowledge on social or politics or economics, will certainly find this absurd and unreservedly disadvantageous for our country. Finally admitting its problems, and to my teammates and I's utmost pleasure, Morocco has finally made efforts to develop its economy. As I am fully aware that these efforts were certainly... Thank you.
The question?
Actually, you're supposed to start first, I assume. Yeah, you're supposed to start first. That's what he's saying.
Okay, me? Okay, I just want to know why you guys would like to keep this agreement with it when it's not beneficial for our country nor its people. And it's causing so many damage to our economy.
Okay, is that it? So the thing is, the subject says it should be cancelled as it is not balanced. And the thing is, we assume that it is not balanced, but that is not enough reasons for us to cancel it. The fact that it is not balanced is not enough. Actually, cancelling it would lead so many people into losing their jobs. Yeah, I
didn't know.
Okay. So cancelling the agreement would lead so many people into losing their jobs. It's going to flood the market with bad quality products, which is going to lead the people to protest. Not having good clothes, not having good supplies, not having good pens, etc. is going to lead the actual people to protest and lead to actual bigger problems in the economy. Morocco has actually helped the economy by financializing actually projects. So I suppose that is more than enough actions to prevent this from happening. Thank you.
Okay, but it is actually cancelled and there... Oh, I don't... Okay.
I don't know. Who's going to ask her? I talk 1 minute, and then her 1 minute. You're saying that we should cancel it because it's. We say that we should cancel it because it's not balanced, and you're admitting that it's unbalanced. So, saying it's unbalanced is saying yes to the half of the subject where you're.
That's it?
Yeah.
So, yes, we say that it's not balanced. It's not balanced. And since the government team, from the beginning, you've saying that it's not balanced and it's hurting our economy in a negative way. And the only solution you're given is canceling this agreement. But what you're not realizing is this solution is only temporary and it's a short-term solution. Because I think I've highlighted in my speech that if we follow your logic, we will end up hurting our economy even more. And that is not what we want. And I think that Morocco pretty much understood this since in November 28th, the Moroccan Minister of Trade and Industry went to Ankara and he met his counterpart to revise this agreement because he's not balanced and he knows that the advantages outshines the disadvantages.
What you said. No, that's it.
Well, you said that if we cancel this agreement, Moroccan will have bad quality products and they will protest. But actually, the fund that was created by Morocco is actually an investment that's supposed to actually create a fair competition between local markets. That means that each company will make more efforts to sell its product. Therefore, it will not only upgrade the quality of their product, but it will also lower the price. So I don't see how canceling it would be more degrading for our industry and for our country than it already is.
Yeah. First thing, I haven't said that it will be harmful to our national economy, national GDP. I've said that Morocco is not doing any effort to subsidize the exporters. They don't give them the means to export that to Turkey. And after that, you came here and you told us that it's their fault. It's not actually their fault. They give the means to their exporters. It's called the exportable supplier. They give the means to the exporters so as to come and knock at our borders and give us what we need. And when we go to there, we don't have the means to do that. That's what I said first place. And other things, we believe that we must not cancel the FTA with Turkey, as it will harm us even more, as we've just showed. And it will bamboozle our sincerest intentions and will make us look bad into international scene. And please do not call Turkey infamous. It's completely wrong, and your point is preposterous.
Well, Turkey has given us in the supermarket departure, it has given us Beam. In the clothing departure, it has given us Okaidi, LC Waikiki, Cotton. And in the electronics departure, it has given us Beko. So what have we given in return? I stated 5 Turkish products. Can you state 5 Moroccan products given in return? And I don't actually understand what you guys are defending. We have already lost 32 billions. Do you want us to lose some more? Is that why you're defending this? Because 32 billion is very sufficient. I can already shape in my mind every single project that would have helped the Moroccan economy. And well, what is given of time? I wish I had more time to spend with you, dear audience, but you know that I cannot debate without J. Cole. And J. Cole, Jermaine Lamar Cole said, hear my words and listen to my signal of distress. Because this free trade agreement should not be cancelled. Yes, you heard it loud and clear. It must be cancelled.
As we have previously said, we know that this free trade agreement is making us lose so much money. We know that it is already imbalanced, but we are making the effort to actually make our companies produce more. We can give Turkey textile and several more items. The companies that you just spoke about, like Beam and all the other stores, are employing several Moroccans. They are making our unemployment rates and poverty rates get minimized. So this free trade agreement is really benefiting us in more ways than you could know. We don't just look at the numbers and then assume what we can cancel an agreement or not. We should also look at the long term and realize that this agreement is benefiting us more than it is not. We can actually benefit from this and develop our sectors and actually compete worldwide. That's it. Thank you.
This